Hello, welcome. This is my first live stream. It is January 4th, 2021, and most of us are still recovering from a wild 2020. Will 2021 be wilder or not? Either way, my aim is to help anyone who wants it to be joyfully productive in 2021. So tonight I'm going to talk about purpose because it all starts with purpose. Now, some folks' immediate reaction to that might be, "Oh dear, another talk about purpose." Uh, yeah, another talk about purpose because purpose. I want you to picture purpose as the planet on which you stand, planet purpose, and it's planet purpose that sustains you, and it's planet purpose meaning having a clear, definite purpose that actually gives you the gravity that attracts others to you. And so this is not going to be a long talk. I think it'll be 5 or 6 minutes, but I want to just give you a couple of nuggets to think about in terms of your own purpose. All right. So to repeat, it's your purpose sustains you, and it gives you the gravity that attracts others to you. Okay. So the thing that purpose isn't is passion. Passion burns out. Passion passion is just a fleeting flame. Knowing your purpose is actually being in a love-hate relationship. Knowing your purpose causes you to have to make difficult choices. Um, my knowing my purpose is now causing me to be doing YouTube lives 5 days a week at 9 p.m. Pacific time. Now, fortunately, I love doing this and I'm committed to this material, but knowing your purpose is a love-hate relationship. And, by when you're in touch with your purpose, you'll work harder than you've ever worked. You'll work yourself to the bone, but you'll also know the sweetest exhaustion there is. And so, um, knowing it, living it, standing on it is critical to being joyfully productive in 2021. Now, in my career, I've been working with business owners and leaders for my entire career, and the people who work from purpose are effective, are powerful, are helpful. Their clarity of purpose brings a power to their work that otherwise they wouldn't know, and they're joyful people. The people who are miserable are the people that are just doing it for the money. And as trite as that sounds, I mean, that feels threadbare as I say it, but I know it's still true. You're if you're driven by your purpose, you will uh, you will just be a happier person overall, and you'll also be a more enjoyable person to be around and a more effective leader. So, um, who has seen the movie Soul? I saw that movie about a week ago, and it's all about purpose, and so I recommend it to you. If you haven't seen it, by all means do. But I have a couple quotes, and I'm gonna do one of the unforgivables. I'm actually gonna read it because I don't wanna get it wrong. But so there's a cynical take about purpose on Earth, and it's offered by Tina Fey's character, and in responding to someone s uh, airing concern about the souls that have not yet transformed into human beings on Earth. Tina Fey says, "Now, don't worry about the souls that haven't made it to Earth. They're fine. You can't crush a soul here. That's what life on Earth is for." So that's a little rough. But here's the thing: is you decide. You decide whether or not to let others or yourself crush your determination to live with your purpose. And um the people closest to us and ourselves are frankly the biggest threat that we have. So the people who aren't us, we have a very simple step to take, and that is just don't listen to them, friend or foe, whatever. uh don't listen to people that intentionally or unintentionally crush your desire to live within your purpose. But let's talk about you because you are the bigger threat. And I think the biggest threat, and I'm even in danger when I start telling you that purpose is really important. I'm in danger of helping you build bigger than life expectations on what that actually means. And so um, I'm gonna go back to Soul, and I'm gonna read a little dialogue real quick, and then talk about that. So the main character's name is Teach, and he's a fella who the story of Soul is that this he has spent his life as a teacher. He feels like he hasn't manifested his purpose. He always wanted to be a jazz musician, and that has not yet come about. So the one of the characters says, "What's wrong, Teach?" And he says, it's just that I've been waiting on." So now he manifested his intention by playing in a jazz trio in a club. And now the afterglow, or what hopes for is the afterglow, is now supposed to be taking place. And so his response is, "It's just I've been waiting for this day for my entire life. I thought I'd feel different." And the response is, "Yeah, I heard a story about a fish. He swims up to an older fish and says, 'I'm trying to find this thing called the ocean.' 'The ocean,' says the older fish. That's what you're in right now.' 'This,' said the young fish, 'this is water. What I want is the ocean.'" And so this expectation of that we build up, and when we're looking outside at another domain or an industry, or what it's like to have a certain job, or or idealizing things, we we can tend to think of it in more grandiose terms and not appreciate, what it is that we're in. And so overwhelmingly, um, the one of the ways is by, instead of realizing that the joy is in the day to day, the joy is in the commitment to the purpose. Sometimes this overly grand thing, like, one of my, I don't, hopefully it's something come across making fun of people, because I don't mean to make fun of people, but American Idol is an example of people who have, you know, always dreamed of being a famous singer. Now, a bunch of them, it's painful because they can't even sing, and so good for them that they haven't listened to people who they think might be just trying to crush their dreams. But it's also indicative of the fact that, passion might overrule sound judgment or actual understanding of what one should or shouldn't be doing. So anyway, the grandiose and then the letdown. So the other part, though, is the uncertainty, that the other part of what keeps people from pursuing their purpose. Because for me, one of the critical questions that I ask people is, what is it you've always thought about doing? What is it you would say? Here's the phrase. It's like, "I don't know why, but I've always wanted to," and then fill in the blank. And every person I've ever met has one of those. And their inability, or their discomfort with having to say, "I don't know why," um, actually serves as a barrier, when in fact the "I don't know why, but here this is this thing," and it a lot of times is something, no matter what the age of the person, it's been with them for all their life. Um, and so I don't know why, but, and so that uncertainty of knowing how to manifest it, where the particular place one might have in a given domain might be, is also a barrier that keeps people from acting on it. And so, those are just two examples of the way people crush their own dreams. And I'm very confident that, I'm only giving two. There are a ton. And if I asked you to comment and say, "Hey, tell me some others," I'm confident everybody on this, although, we don't have a big crowd tonight because it's the first one. And thank you for being here. And please hit subscribe. Oh, yeah, here's the standard thing. Please hit subscribe and please hit like. That will help me. I don't know how it helps me. All I know is I've seen other YouTube people do it. All right. So anyway, let's wrap this up and say, what's the question? So it's what to do. So if you're already in a career, if you're in an established career, you are your biggest enemy, because you're going to be in love with your paycheck, or you're going to be uncomfortable with becoming a beginner in something else. And so what I want to urge you to do is to take a lot of small steps that lead to change, not look to take a big step. And, this last year, like, Netflix has had more hours of watching, every streaming service. Well, in 2021, if we're still locked down, I don't care how long we're locked down, and when the lockdown ends, I want to make this suggestion too, is read books, watch YouTubes that have to do with the business in which you want to thrive. Um, and one of the I'll go into this over the coming weeks, but even in lockdown, you can do a lot to start reaching out to people. You can use LinkedIn, you can use other tools. Small steps, small steps, small steps every day. And just give yourself a pat on the back for saying, I don't know why, but I've always wanted to. Oh, what small step can I take today to get closer to that? Now, if you're a younger person, high school, college, recent graduate, you don't have the sunk cost. Well, in some ways, especially someone fresh out of college, they're like, I just majored in this, and this is the worst thing I've ever thought of doing. Now, I did that. I majored. My major was not suited for me at all. My major was suited. School was fine. The actual work in the business was not a good fit for me. So, if you're a younger person, what I would urge you to do is to immediately get in touch with your own sense of, I don't know why, but I've always wanted to. And then get a job, any job in the field in which you want to work. You will learn more as a grunt, as the lowest man or woman on the totem pole in the industry in which you want to work than you will have or will in 4 years of college. And so, everybody's always looking for a great assistant. Everybody's always looking for a gopher. And what you'll be able to do is you'll get in the water. You'll stop thinking about there's this grand ocean that I have to jump in. And all of a sudden you'll be swimming with the other fish. You'll see if you fit. You'll see if what your expectations were match up to what reality is. And you can start affecting things. So even if you have a college degree and you're supposedly qualified for a quote unquote higher role, jump in the pool, get a job, just take any job. And so the other thing, if you haven't yet gone into debt for college, the other thing that's really fun is you don't have to take out a student loan to take a grunt job, a low man on a totem pole job. You can do that and get paid, and you don't have to go into debt. So what I urge moving forward, I'm going to start doing these for, wow, we're already at 13 minutes. So they're going to be relatively short. This one will end under 15 minutes, but I'm going to be doing these 5 nights a week, and I'm going to take each night. I'm going to take one of on Mondays, I'm going to talk about purpose. Tuesday, plans. Wednesdays come after Tuesdays. People, how to network, how to meet, and then talk about processes, and then talk about actual producing product of the work environment that you want. So thanks so much for joining. I hope this was helpful. I would appreciate any comments you have that would help make this a better experience. And have a great, depending on what time of day you're watching this, have a great evening, morning, afternoon, and have a truly joyful, productive 2021. See you tomorrow. Take care.